Very good afternoon to all the viewers here. Thank you so much for those who are viewing this for the first time and those who are existing subscribers. Thank you so much also for supporting this channel. So a little bit about myself. I am Miss Lavanya. I am actually an accountant in a firm, in an accounting firm focusing on small and medium-sized enterprises. And I also have passion in guiding and educating students in ACCA subjects. So I also do guide them in their ACCA P7 and F8 papers. So that's about me, a very short introduction. So let's jump into the purpose of why Crazy Geek actually came about last year. So the main purpose of why Crazy Geek is here is actually to bring the awareness that there is a gap between what you study in your college or school and what you actually apply at work. So what are the necessary skills you need, and what are the things that you need to know in order to be a successful person at your workplace itself. So today we have a very, very interesting person. He is Mr. Renganathan, one of the person who is important in these leading tax firms in Malaysia. So if you haven't known him, go and check out his profile and everything. So yeah, how are you doing, sir?
I'm good, Lavanya. How are you? Thanks for the invite and thanks for your kind introduction.
Yes, thank you so much for accepting my invitation. I think I should say that I'm very, very grateful to have you as a guest speaker for today's session. So a little introduction about yourself, sir.
Okay, my pleasure. I'm a tax controversy partner and one of the founding partner of TraTax. And TraTax is basically a firm of independent tax advisors. So I think before I introduce myself, it will be easier for me to introduce, or it will be appropriate for me to introduce what is TraTax. I mean, what is independence that we claim at TraTax. So now, when we say independence, basically we focus more on advisory. We are consulting firm, so we focus more on advisory and tax controversy. So generally, it's technical in nature or advisory in nature. Compliance is something very less in our business portfolio, but nevertheless, compliance is part and parcel of the entire business value chain, but very minimal. So that's how we play our independence role. So back to about my track, myself, you did ask about what I did at school and all these things. So schools, at school, Form 4, Form 5, I did my sastra. I'm a sastra boy. I'm not from accounting. Stream. Mm-hmm. Then my elder brother told me to, upon completion, go and pursue CAT, Certified Accounting Technicians. Then that's how my journey began. Then I did my ACCA. Then I was doing my ACCA on part-time basis. I was working in a law firm in tax area, but I was working in a law firm. Then upon completion of my ACCA and all those things, then early 2010s I started TraTax. So that's how that's about me. And from very early days until today, I only do tax, nothing else. I've never done auditing, accounting, nothing else. I only do tax, and my bread and butter is tax controversy. So in simple, that's who I am. So
that's a very, very humble introduction of yourself, sir. I am very sure you have achieved so many things, but you have made it a very short introduction. Thank you so much for that. So today, actually, our session is also very focused in terms of tax, because you are a tax expert. So I thought my questions will be more towards tax, but at the same time, you can also take into account of other areas like how tax can impact the accounts, as well as the audit. So my very first question for you, sir, is there a gap between what you studied in your CAT or ACCA and what you applied at work? And if there is any, how to bridge that particular gap?
Okay. See, I'm a 80s boy. So when I started my professional qualification studies, which is towards end of 90s. So I would say, okay, before we dwell into the subject, let's look at ACCA or any professional qualification. See, fundamentally, professional qualification has been designed for matured students, which is 21 and above. Okay, that's how professional qualification has been designed. But today, it's totally different picture. It's totally different picture, right? So today you can break it into two routes. Maybe post SPM, you go and do your CAT and ACCA directly, or maybe a degree and ACCA or any professional qualification together simultaneously. That's how it's happening now. Okay, that's a present business module. Whereas nowadays, it is different. There's only two options: either full time or part time. That's all. Okay, so if you're not 21, then you have to do that maybe because of ACCA or maybe because of any professional qualification in order to pursue the professional qualification. So from there itself, you would know that it's not an easy route. And those days, I'm pretty sure you could recall this, or you might heard this from the seniors, super seniors and seniors. If you fail one paper, they will only give you a chance only once for you to repeat the paper. Otherwise, you have to repeat the entire basket of papers again, which is 3 papers. Okay. The last 2 levels, right? So that's how tough it is. So nowadays, when we learned, we don't have internet. We don't have internet. It's all dial-up network and all those things. So internet is something luxury. Fax is wow. Today, fax doesn't exist. Okay, so we were in that era. So when we learned during that era, you have to search for information. You have to tap for the information, and information is not easy to get. But you have to, if you're willing to invest your time and collect the information, it is useful. And the application, application techniques, verifying techniques, all this, if you can match, it is useful for studies. And I would say that it was useful for my career as well. It was useful for my career. That's my opinion. But day by day, we can see that level of relevance and the level or space of connectivity is reducing. There are a few reasons, because internet is there, information is free, you get everything it's on at your palm level, everything is there. So since everything is there, verifying the information is a big challenge. So probably verification has to be carried out. The verification effort has to be carried out. That's a gap that I could see. But if you ask me personally, based on the professional papers that I pursued and with my career, I don't see any gap.
Okay. So it's just a verification of vast knowledge. That is actually the gap there. Okay.
At the moment.
Okay. So next question, sir. My next question is, what is the day-to-day scope for a tax agent or someone who works under tax-related job scope in Malaysia? Maybe we can just focus on small and medium-sized enterprises.
Okay. Irrespective of the size of the organization, as a tax agent, or as a tax consultant or tax accountant, provided they are not say it's a let's hope legit tax agent, not bogus tax agent. Okay, now first of all, what is legit tax agent? A legit tax agent is basically a Section 153 license holder. Okay, this will be issued by Ministry of Finance. So being a legit tax agent, you generally you have some responsibilities and or scope of ethics to be covered, basically, or the basic sense of basic independence, objectivity, and integrity. So though your clients are paying, you have to ensure that it is in line with the compliance rules, in line with the rules, in line with the regulation, you have to update. So your question is, what a tax agent, a tax consultant have to do on day-to-day basis? Okay, communicating with client, understanding client need, okay, and updates of tax authorities or government's updates, and that has to be a match with your clientele profile. That I don't think so we can do this on day-to-day basis, but periodically, I would say periodically updated or updating, try to match with your size of business or size of clients and updates. You cannot say that client is client, update is totally different issues. No, that's wrong. Client is coming to you. You are the channel for the client. Okay, you're a channel for the client, and the client relies on your opinion solely. People do argue if client make profit, they don't share the profit with us. Yes, true, that's right. But we are professional accountants, so you have to sell your products. How you're going to, you have to communicate. It's two-way awareness, right? So you have to understand on your client's need. Likewise, you have to sell your product. Okay, so let's say a client belongs to F&B industry, a small scale F&B industry. It doesn't any incentive by the government extended for that respective year or what, then they have to communicate back. That's how it's supposed to do. But what generally a lot of people does is they buy the blue book and exchange the blue book. That's not you can do that. Of course, you can do that. Nothing restricts you. But the best way is to understand the client and match the client with whatever incentives or tax regulations, new regulations, whatever it is, whatever updates are there. That has to be matched. That has to be matched. So in my view, I think this is something vital, and this is more futuristic.
Okay. Why I brought up this question is because there's one subscriber who is actually like a fresh grad. He just finished his accounting, Bachelor of Accounting. So he's looking at, okay, if I'm going into a tax related roles, what am I actually going to do on a day-to-day basis, or what's the difference between this role with the accountants, or being an auditor and this kind of thing. So that's why the question actually comes up. I think you have tell it in a very, very nice and a simple manner. Thank you so much, sir, on that. And this will lead to my third question.
Lavanya?
Yes,
sorry, before I go to the next question, after listening to your explanation, maybe I have to add more, because what I explained to you earlier is on a businessman or as a business scope.
Okay.
So as a fresh grad, if his question is, what am I going to do in a tax firm?
Yeah.
That's a totally different issue. See, when you go into a tax firm, like let's say for us, we do have indirect tax. I do have tax controversy. We do have international tax. We do have transfer pricing. We do have corporate tax.
Okay.
So about 6 and you have 6 to 7 units in tax. So within tax itself, like say for example, in my unit tax controversy, I have front end, mid end, and back end. So it's total. The result is going to be one result. Client is one client, but there's a lot of engines and machineries involved. Okay. So not necessarily that that gentleman will be dealing with a client, or he'll be dealing with authority, or he'll be dealing with machines. It can be solely with one of the box, or maybe all together. It depends. It all depends on the dynamics and metrics of the size of the assignment, business, complexity.
Okay.
So tax is a wide thing. It's a very wide range.
Yeah.
Okay, like how accounting is wide, likewise tax is another extremely wide spectrum. So you have 5 fingers. You have to decide which finger you're going to select. Whether 2 out of 5 or 3 out of 5 or 1 out of 5. It is your decision.
Yes. Correct.
So should be informed decision.
Okay, thanks. I think this will make a lot of sense to those students and fresh graduates who want to start in tax itself. So my third question, sir, this one is a question that even I also have in mind. How many types of scopes is there for tax in Malaysia if someone wants to work in tax firms? I think you have actually covered in our earlier one also, like how many departments is there and everything. Maybe you want to explain a little bit further, sir, like, transfer pricing.
Okay. No, transfer pricing is another subset of tax, okay? But it's not purely, of course, transfer pricing, they have their own set of guidelines and rules, and it's more an international convention, right? International practice. Okay. International, and also you have to you have to do a comparative analysis with available tools and techniques, okay? Whereas when coming to tax, it's more on compliance rules, understanding the local rules, local laws, okay? And understanding your client. Client belongs to which country, which culture, and wherever they are coming from. Are they introducing, or do they have any other culture within the present establishment here in Malaysia? International tax issues, PE issues, okay, double taxation issues, withholding taxes, and of course penalties, administration. There's so many sectors. So back to square one. They have to know, they have to do a SWOT analysis. Your caliber is in compliance, or your caliber is in audit, or your caliber is in more on international tax, or your caliber is more on advisory or report writing or transfer pricing. They have to do that. Only then they can carry out or they can identify the right segment for them. If they want to go and do everything all together, I won't recommend.
Okay.
I won't recommend. Okay. Now, I'll give you an example. Some say that, okay, I want to start from compliance, then I want to do audit investigation. I will say it's yes and no answer. Some will say, no, I like audit, I like debates, and I like legal, so therefore I want to go to audit investigation directly. It is again a yes and no. So all depends on your capability, whether you can manage. You can manage the dynamics, and you could understand what has been expected by the tax authority, and do you have the capability to translate that to your client. See, taxman will talk to you in tax language. A businessman will be talking with you in his own language, which is business language. Okay, so you have to translate from tax to business and business to tax. It cannot be yes and yes, no and no. It will involves a lot of work. Okay, a lot of background work and understanding the do's and don'ts and weakness and strengths. So you have to do a detailed analysis. This end of the day is two-way awareness. We being professionals, we are responsible for awareness. I can give you an example. I always give this example to my colleagues, right? And also young students. Let's say you're going to a clinic nearby to your house, which is within, let's say, about 3 to 5 kilometers, and you don't know the doctor at all. Okay, and like neither the doctor also doesn't know you well. Okay, so the doctor will ask you a few questions, let's say about 3 to 4 questions. Based on the questions, you will prescribe the medicine, and it's going to be a very low fee, below 50 ringgit or below 80 ringgit. For that fee, for that time, is going to charge you, and whatever assessment has been carried out at that point of time should work by large. Okay, now that's a convention, there's a standard practice based on problem, what type of solution they could provide with given time. Understand? So we are being fellow professionals, we must know what type of questions we're going to ask our clients and what are the expectations, with the counterpart and your part, how we can manage the tensions.
Okay.
You have very limited time. So with that time, you have to handle the assignment.
Make sense. Make a lot of sense.
That's the reason why we call professional qualification. I mean, ACCA, CPA, ICW, all these are professional qualification. There's no up and down. They're all equally same. They're all professional qualification, right? So we learn ethics.
Yep.
We learn independence. We learn integrity. We learn managing people, managing finance. A lot of stuff we will learn. Why we learn all this? To manage these kind of issues. But what people normally say is, I don't get training from this firm. How you could imagine a firm with 5 staffs or 6 staffs can give you a detailed training? Anyway, it's not reasonable. If you ask me, I would say it's not reasonable because you are a professionally qualified person. So being a professionally qualified person, that's what I learned.
Yeah.
Right? That's why I learned valuation analysis, management, management techniques, Kurt Levin's techniques, unfreeze, freeze, refreeze. I still adapt until today. Until today, I adapt this. So you learn a lot of stuff, pastel factors, all this stuff. So when go to universities or when there's a guest lecture invitation, whenever I pull out this kind of theories or a simple case presentation, they couldn't connect. So that shows very clearly what they learn is only for them to get a blue mark.
Yes.
That's not right. Because your family is extending this resources, your time, effort. There's a lot of people involved. So whatever that they learned, that has to be applied. I think that will be, because you learn everything. So the best way for us to, or for the young generation to know what is involved in audit, what is involved in tax, what is involved in finance, take the book, open the syllabus, you see every segment.
Okay. Then apply to whichever work are you at.
Yes.
Makes sense, sir. So yeah, I think that question actually sum up very well on that. I am actually going to extend a little bit on that particular question. How a tax person differs with an accountant and a bookkeeper. I think accountant and bookkeeper, sir. Just a quick one.
Okay. Bookkeeper don't have to be qualified. Bookkeepers, there are so many very good bookkeepers. You can give them tons of ledgers and T accounts. They can manage it just like that.
Okay.
You come and give me 50 pages of T accounts. Sorry, I'll say it's not my forte. I'm not the right person. Don't waste your time. I'm not the right person. Okay. Now, why? Because that's not my expertise. My expertise, if you give me a bundle of tax problem, I have a team to manage it, and somehow we can provide a solution on long-term or short-term basis. That's us, right? Professional accountants or chartered accountants. Okay. Whereas bookkeepers, they are more on day-to-day record keeping or data entry stuff. So bookkeepers should not be compared with accountants. That's wrong. That's wrong. First of all, we should not compare. We should compare ourselves with lawyers, engineers. Accountants should be compared with lawyers, engineers, architects, surveyors, and doctors. These are 6 essential professionals. Okay, so we have to be compared among the 6 essential professionals. That's why I give you the simple general practitioner doctor theory.
Yes, correct. Because many times, I think many students actually have a problem with knowing what is actually the difference between a bookkeeper as well as an accountant, because they kind of like confused that it's actually similar only. So when you have told that the professional accountant is totally a different thing, there's a lot of other things that's also including, like consulting, tax, a lot of things actually is included. It's just bookkeeper is just a data entry and that kind of thing. So yeah, that's why I thought of this question, sharing with them also.
Okay.
My next question, sir. This one is also pretty interesting question from a fresh graduate. So what would be your advice if someone is interested in tax? What is the first step they need to do, even at their college itself?
Good, very nice. So what I learned from my lecturers is read newspapers. Okay, go and select or go and check on interesting tax archives or interesting business archives.
Okay.
Because tax is based on business situation, tax is based on real situation, right? So it's good for us to understand real situation, business situations. Only then tax will be tax impact will be there, which is a great impact. So first thing that we have to understand is a business case or personal, any fraudulent or any organized white collar crime. We have to understand. You have to understand these kind of situations, right? Only then you can plug and play with tax. So at this point of time, year 1 or year 2 at college period, it is good to see interesting serials or interesting interesting archives, magazines, international news, international dailies. I'm not talking about social media. I'm talking about the proper dailies, proper newspapers. Okay, then good to familiarize with our tax authorities. Tax authorities social media is there. It means in Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. Okay, so it's good to check MIA's social media as well, MIA's website. Likewise, CTIMS, Chartered Tax Institute of Malaysia. Since you're looking at tax, Chartered Tax Institute of Malaysia is the premier tax body in the country. Okay, so it is good to follow CTIMS articles, CTIMS announcements. The website is there. So from there you can follow up. Okay, what is happening in India? What is happening in Thailand? What is happening in US? What is happening in UK? Or otherwise, another easiest way is go to Google, go and check on tax updates, tax news, familiarize yourself.
Okay.
With those news, you go and relate back with the syllabus. Am I studying this or not? Am I studying this or not? Am I learning this or not? So am I going on an advanced approach, or what is happening, or what a taxman doing, or what a criminal is doing out there is more advanced than what I'm learning?
Okay.
So, you have to compare that. This has to be carried out at college level, not at the age of 35 or 40.
Okay, make a lot of sense.
Okay? This has to be carried out at the second year. My lecturers taught me that you have to, no matter however is your result, you have to select what you want, which segment, which leg of accounting you're going to select. It is your decision. Okay, so I selected tax in 1998. Until today, I'm still in tax. I never changed anything else. Okay, so you must know what you want.
Okay, so that is the one thing they can do. It's actually one of the easiest thing, because it's like everything is going to be in a fingertips already. You just Google out, then you can get all this information. Am I right to say so?
Yes, but application. What is lacking there is application. Information is there everywhere. Standard 3 boy also can search a lot of stuffs.
Yes.
Okay? My wife always used to say that English is language, but the content must be there. No matter what language, whichever language it is, but the content must be there. So you must have the capability to apply and connect.
Okay.
Or connect and apply. So basically, there's three issues. You must know where to retrieve information. Okay. Then the connectivity. You must do a gap analysis. That's what you're looking at, right? Gap. So gap analysis. You must do a gap analysis. Where are we? What we have? What are the issues here? How we can connect this? Then application. So when it comes to application, that's where you, being a professional accountant, you'll be applying whatever that you learned during your professional course. People, it's quite a sad thing. People always think that upon completion of studies, and you go to employee A, employee B, he will train you again. Yes, he will train you again throughout the life process, throughout the experience process. Not how to sit, how to use the computer, how to use the photocopier. No, that's wrong. They will be teaching you. What you will be learning there is application. How to apply. Okay. Or to simplify this, basically, we call this why, what, how, when. Okay. Why, what, how, when. There are 4 basic questions. So at the age of 25, or at the age of 27, at the age of 28, every time you ask this question, probably you will improvise you will have an improvised answer every time you ask the question again and again and again. Number 1. And at youngest age, let's say at the age of 21, 22, 23, or year 1, year 2 of your college or professional qualification period, out of these 4 questions, probably you'll get 2. 2 answered. Another 2, you need time. You have to go through the real experience to get the answer. Then patiently develop. Patiently, you must do a SWOT analysis. Where are we? Where is my weakness? So what we learn in SWOT analysis is strength is there. Okay, you have to protect your strength. Whereas weakness, you have to convert it. You cannot keep it there. Otherwise that weakness will become a threat. And threat, when your threat is there, how you're going to reduce that threat? You cannot avoid threat. Everybody will have threat. Okay, so how you're going to reduce the threat? How you're going to convert the opportunity into a strength? Okay, this is what we learn. Likewise, any box or any frame that you're going to set, any business or any deal that you're going to set, there is something called exit. Exit has to be accounted. If we don't account for exit, then it's equivalent to commit suicide. So we have to be prepared for the exit. It can happen anytime, but must be prepared. We cannot be overconfident. I mean, this is how business, history repeats, right? So this is how it works. This is what we learn. So back to your question, probably this will be a concluding answer for all your questions. Being professional accountant, whatever that we learn for the 14 papers, you have to apply throughout the life process.
Thank you, sir. I think that SWOT analysis is something I also do every now and then. Now I can actually relate it more better with your experience also. Like in every age, like 25, 26, 27, 30, you do that SWOT analysis. Actually, sir, I have my very last question before we end this whole session. Share with us your one mistake that you made when you were a student, which the adult you now would want to change.
Okay. We don't have a great access to internet those days. So if you want to use computers, you have to wait in the queue, and your slot is for 30 minutes.
Okay.
You only can use the internet for 30 minutes. You only can use the computer for 30 minutes. So every click you have to wait about 45, 50 seconds or close to 1 minute. Every click you have to wait. The search and all these things, right? So what happened is my regret or my mistake that I believe is I was not up to date with technology stuff at that point of time. Of course, I do play with a lot of technological stuff, whichever is available at that point of time. But I don't read the manual and do the stuff. Okay. I'm a person that I try. Even mati also, I won't read the manual. So I think that's a big mistake that I've done.
Okay.
Even until now, I don't have the patience to read the manual and do stuff, which is wrong.
Okay.
So manual. I'm not referring to manual as a mistake, and I'm trying to rectify that.
I think I also have that also, sir. I'm also like that. Sometimes I just try out and it doesn't work then. But if try out doesn't work, then I go back to the manual. But then I don't start with the manual. Thank you so much, sir, for that sharing. Yeah.
Probably it's an accountant's problem.
Maybe, sir. Maybe we should ask other accountants also. Yeah, so we have almost come to the end of the session, sir. So is there any final suggestion or recommendation you want to share for students, fresh graduates, or those who have just graduated? Yep.
Recommendation is basically be happy. You have decided you want to do accounting, so congratulations. All the best. It's a very good profession. I can guarantee you that. It's a very good profession. So it is good to decide or analyze what you want to do when you are young. Okay. Some people will say that I want to go into audit, and I want to try audit, and then I want to go into tax, and I want to try this, that, everything. Okay. Yes, you can do that, but you don't have the time. We have a very short time, right? So when you come out when you hold your professional qualification in your hand, maybe within the age of 22, 23 or 21, 22 nowadays. So from there, for you to touch 30, you have about 8 to 9 years. Takkan you want to, every 2 years, you want to roll from this department to that department to another department, right? That's not practical. You have to progress. So you decide what you want, then study well, explore well, whatever that you have decided. Okay, maybe one core and two supporting lines with that. Let's say, for example, take let's say taxation, and then the supporting line could be business and management or business and finance. Try to play together, work, study well, and make sure that it's always you go for the upgrade, go for the update. Then you'll be someone in your profession. You'll be someone in that sector. You'll be someone in your in that segment, provided you invested your time, you have given your best, you have extended sufficient resources for that. success is yours.
Thank you so much, sir. I think I am learning something very crucial at this time of period. I think thank you so much for reminding that. So that's all we have for today, sir. So if someone wants to get connected with you or wants to know more about TraTax or more about you, so how do we reach out to you?
They can reach through you, or they can reach through LinkedIn.
Okay.
Based on our, if it is TraTax, then you can check on TraTax Facebook, or otherwise you can also connect to our LinkedIn profile or my LinkedIn profile as well.
Okay. Thank you so much, sir.